Nate Satan is at it again. That devil is at it again. That black demon from the lower parts of hell is at it again. Now I'm gonna show you how much of a demon this devil is. And this dude is a straight up devil that the Bible speaks of. And what I'm speaking about is a 501c3 charter. And brothers out there doing videos, and I know the other elders are gonna be doing videos, but this is something we spoke about the other night when this information first came out. And I just wanted to do a little video on it. Lord's will, it'll come out and the information will be there and it'll be ready and available to you, brother, so you can see how much of a snake bacon, Nate the snake bacon is. Now, we've been talking about this 501c3 charter beginning with Elder Tahar. Been mentioning about this guy Nate got a 501c3 charter, and this is this guy's response to the 501c3 charter. He puts a picture of himself, basically, Stephen from Django, and then this is what he says. Do any of you realize that the original School of Israelites elders in New York had a 501c3 under the name ICUPK and never curbed their speech and their ways? No talk from an idiot saying they working for Illuminati. They had some of the most eye-popping and jaw-dropping public teachings ever heard. Laugh out loud. They taught the full truth with fire and power, and many of us repented and learned. A Negro who thinks he's a Bible scholar will say that if you get tax exempt to help your people, you are evil and working for the Illuminati. Let's examine that dumb statement in scriptures. Now, keep in mind that he's taking shots basically when he says a Negro who thinks he's a Bible scholar. He's talking about Elder Tahar. He's talking about us basically. Beginning with Elder Tahar. So it's saying, he think if you get a tax exempt status that you're being evil or wicked. That's a dumb statement. Let's examine in scriptures. The scriptures say 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. And yeah, if you can use the world, use it. Why not? But a tax exempt status or 501c3 tax exempt status doesn't only afford you the right to get a tax exemption for your organization, but you you have to abide by their rules. See, that's the point. That's the point that he's not bringing out. That's the information that he's not bringing out. When you take this 501c3 charter, you agree to the terms of this agreement that they give you through that charter. And this is what the scriptures say in Exodus 23 and 32. It says this. I'm going to have to bring it up some more, so bear with me here. Just bear with me. I'll read it, and then later on I'll put it. It says, this is Exodus 23 and 32. Right? It says, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. So when you take that 501c3 charter, you're making a covenant with the particular government that is in power at that time. Whether it was the Persians, whether it was the Babylonians, whether it was the Egyptians, whether it was the Greeks, whether it was the Romans, whether it was later on in history throughout the British Empire, the French Empire, the American Empire, whatever. Okay? That is a covenant or an agreement that you make with them, which is forbidden according to the scriptures. Right? Now let's continue on reading what this devil says, because the first scripture he uses 1 Corinthians 7:31. They that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. And yeah, I mean, you could use that scripture for using the world, but there is a proper place for that. When you take on this 501c3 charter, you agree to the terms that come with this charter, and nothing that you agree to with this devil is free from him putting his clause into it and putting certain statements in there to make you go away from the original agreement. He'll tell you, okay, you have a tax exempt status, but you have to do this, that, and the third. Then it says, under many empires there was a lawful means to aid your people, which is true. But we are commanded to not abuse this small liberty by stealing or by getting rich while those you claim to help suffer. Which that right there, that's a statement they made that they need to check themselves on that, because you got the starter kit which is $300. Some people can't afford that. We have signs out there that we give brothers for free, and other guys from other camps that are not even affiliated with us use our signs for their camp. So what? So be it, as long as the work is being done. This kingdom, as all others, will pass away, meaning come to an end. And you notice you never hear them talk about that. You'll never hear them talk about the end of America, the end of this society, that this place is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. How is this place going to end? You know, what is going to culminate at the end? What's going to happen in the midst of all this stuff? You don't hear them talk about the race wars. You don't hear them talk about the famines. You don't hear them talk about the chip. Nothing. Did some of our Israelite forefathers get tax exempt for the benefit of the nation of Israel? That's the question. Did some of our Israelite forefathers get tax exempt for the benefit of the nation of Israel? Well, let's find out. Let's find out what they're saying that this means. The Persian king Artaxerxes said, Ezra 7:24, also we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levite singers, porters, Nethinims, and ministers of this house of the Most High, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them. 1 Ezra 8:22. I command you also that you require no tax nor any other imposition of any of the priests or Levites or holy singers or porters or ministers of the temple, or of any that have doings in this temple, and that no man have authority to impose anything upon them. The Greek king Demetrius said to Jonathan Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 10:29, and now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from tributes and from the customs of salt and from crown taxes. The Greek king Demetrius, which used to be Demetrius, also said the same to Simon Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 1:13-39. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also, which you owe us, and if there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid. So either our Israelite forefathers were wicked as hell, or for accepting to be exempt from tax, or some Negroes today are dumb as hell. Peace, right? So now you read those scriptures and you say, well, they got a point, because I mean that is a tax exempt status. But the point is, the scripture said, we'll read it again in Exodus 23:32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. Now the point of the matter of the tax exempt status of the 501c3 charter is you have to physically go and fill out a file or fill out a form, an application, to ask for this tax exempt status. That's what this devil Nate is not telling you. When you get a 501c3 charter, you have to physically go and apply for this charter. And when you apply for this charter, what they do is they basically give you a gag order and tell you what you can and cannot teach. When you read those scriptures that Nate or his boys or whoever put together, it said that the Persian king, right? The Persian king Artaxerxes said, this is what the king said. Also, we certify you that touching any of the priests and the Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of the house of the Most High, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them. Tax, blah, blah, blah. The king made this decree. The Levites, the prophets, the men of the Lord, the governors, the leaders, they did not go to the king himself and ask or put in an application to ask for these tax exempt status. The spirit of Yahweh B'Shem shall put the spirit on those kings of those different kingdoms to give Israel that tax exempt status. They didn't put a application into the king. The Lord put the spirit on them to give that tax exempt status. The same thing with the Greek king Demetrius. It says, and now do I free you. Who said that? The king Demetrius said that he frees you from those taxes, from the salt, from the crown taxes, from this tribute, from that tribute. Not that the Israelites went to the king Demetrius or to Artaxerxes and said, look, Artaxerxes, or look, this particular king or that particular king, we demand of you that you give us a tax exempt status. And here goes our application, and these are the reasons why. So this devil Nate will have you believe that You can have this tax exempt status, a 501c3 tax exempt status, because our forefathers had it. Our forefathers did not go to any king to make any agreement with them through any form of application, because the law forbids that. Okay? The law forbids that. Now, this is the reason why Nate is doing that. This is John, the 11th chapter, the 47th and the 48th verse. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him alone, thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So in other words, those wicked Pharisees and Sadducees back then, they had a certain position among those Romans that they didn't want taken away from them. So they had to put up that front to the people for the sake of the governors and leaders of that particular empire. And that's what Nate is doing right now. If Nate don't hold the people that are following him accountable and put a gag order on them about teaching mainly the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai, then these devils that gave him that tax exempt status will step in and say, look, you didn't follow the agreement, so now you have no longer this exempt status, a tax exempt status that you applied for. Now, once again, remember that these kings, King Demetrius and King Artaxerxes, they gave their order or their decree that there should not be a tax imposed on Israel. Israel, the leaders of Israel didn't go to them. The people of Israel didn't go to them and ask them to give them a tax exempt status. The Spirit of the Lord put it upon them to do that. So there's a difference. All right. Now, this is from this website here. If you want to go read more on it, you can read more on it. I just got a few things off here that to make a point. It says, what is a charter? Answer: a charter is an official certificate issued to a ministry upon approval. Approval of what? Approval of your application. This document is suitable for framing. Such approval affords a ministry legal standing with the community, the state, and the Internal Revenue Service. Why? Because when you apply for that, if you agreed upon, then you exempt from all these different organizations out there that get money out of you. And it's necessary prerequisite when applying for grants. Now, the word prerequisite means required or necessary as a prior condition. So in other words, you put in for the application, and if they approve you, then now it's law. Now you have that approval, but you have to first apply for it. That's why it's prerequisite, right? This legal charter guarantees the recipient that his or her ministry meets IRS criteria and is under general, not specific supervision. Meaning it's under general supervision, meaning whatever whatever laws they say you have to follow those laws. Why? Because you're asking them for a privilege. You're asking them for an agreement. Therefore, you have to abide by their rules. It says, how do we obtain a charter? Answer: we've made it easy. Just fill out the form in this package. So in other words, there's an application you have to fill out. Give me the scripture where our forefathers filled out a form and put in or filled out a package or a packet and sent it to these different kings to ask them for this tax exempt status. You're not going to find it. Why? Because they did not make those agreements with those nations. The Lord put the Spirit on those kings to give Israel that tax exempt status back then. Why? Because the kingdom of Israel had to be built up, or should I say the temple had to be built up, and the certain things had to be fulfilled back then. All right? Complete and mail them to us as soon as possible. When your completed forms arrive, we will begin work on them and let you know if we have any questions. After your paperwork has been processed, it is evaluated by our charter department. Once approved, your ministry charter is sent to you immediately. In most cases, the approval date is the day you sign the charter agreement. But the point is that when you fill out this 501c3 charter, you have to abide by the rules of that organization that gave you that tax exempt status. Because if you don't follow that tax exempt status from that particular organization, then they can revoke your tax exempt status. All right, so that's the difference. So I mean, you know, this is just a little something on Nate the Snake, Nate Snake Bacon, you know, to let you know that this dude is a real demon and a real devil, and he'll use the scriptures to curb or to manipulate people's minds out there that are not, their minds are not open to his bullshit. But we here at GMS, we see everything this devil is doing, you know. And you brothers out there, keep your eyes open on this devil. Don't be surprised if this devil comes out with all kind of stuff, man. And then people that's following Nate, man, you better have your eyes peeled and wide open, which I know you don't, but you better have your eyes peeled and wide open, because this dude is a Judas goat. He's leading you down the path of destruction, and you're going to be destroyed if you keep following this guy, man. So you better open up your eyes. You better start doing your research. You better start finding out what the hell is really going on. Otherwise, you ain't going to make it. You know, and with that, I'm going to say shalom, and I hope you brothers learn something. Until the next time.